If you still don't know how to make money trading the stock market, I'm going to show you now a 5-minute scalping strategy. So here we go. So here in front of me is the Euro New Zealand dollar, which means here I'm on the 1 hour chart and I'm looking for a trend. And in this case, I can see the market is going to the upside. So for this strategy, I want a bullish trend. If you're not sure how to identify the trend, you can simply use the EMAs. Here in this case I'm using the EMA cross between the 50 and 200. This one would also be an option. So here, if I click on the EMA cross, I can see here we had a cross to the upside, which means my blue line, the 200 EMA, is below my red line, the 50 EMA. So now I know the trend is bullish for at least some times. And I can see here the market forms higher highs and higher lows. So now I know the market is bullish. So once I have identified my trend on the 1 hour chart, we skip to the 50-minute chart. So once on the 50-minute chart, we can see here the market forms higher highs and higher lows. And here is the new higher high. So I'm looking for the market to break above this resistance area. We can see here we got rejected a couple of times. So I'm looking for the market to break above this area, which here clearly happened with this bullish move, and then I'm looking for the market to pull back to this area. So once the market broke above, I want the market here to come to the 200 EMA area, which is also the previous resistance area, and I want it to act now as a support area, meaning I want it to bounce off of this area. So I'm not going to just buy blindly. Once the market comes here, I'm waiting for a bullish sign. So after the market broke the last area right here, I want to take my lowest point before the breakout. So here we can see this was the last rejection. So the lowest point before the breakout is right here. So here we can see the last rejection, and then the breakout happened right here, and here was the pullback. So I want to take the lowest point, which is here, and draw a trend line from here, and I can see if I can find a couple of touches at the trend line, which is right here. This is my first touch. I can see here the second and the third touch. Now again, keep in mind, the trend line is most often an area, so we can here draw a bit of a bigger area. I have here my second touch, my third touch, and even my fourth touch. And now I just don't want to buy blindly, just because the market had here the third or the fourth touch, because we can always break down. But at least now I can assume the market has a trend line and it will go to the upside. So once I have identified my trend line, now I'm waiting for a bullish sign so I can assume that the market will go to the upside. And at the same time, I had here my lowest point of the pullback, which was right here, because the next retests were higher than the lowest point. So this is my lowest point. So this is my lower low, this is my lower high, and this is my last lower low. So I want the market to break this structure of my lower high before turning to the upside. And here this candlestick broke above the last structure right after the fourth touch. So now this is an indicator that the market will continue much higher. So after seeing this bullish candlestick, I want the market to again return to this area to see whether it will act as a support, since here was the resistance line of the previous lower high. So now I need the market to pull back to see whether we can stay here and continue from here. So I need this market to come back and form a support area right here. And we can see here the market came back the first time and then the second time. So this whole candlestick is my area of support. And here I'm looking for entries. So now I'm going to the lower time frames. So here on the 5-minute chart, I can see this was the last resistance area of my lower high once the market started to pull back on the bigger time frames. Let's make it green. And here now on the 5-minute chart, I can see the market here cross to the upside. Suddenly the 200 EMA is below the 50 EMA. So now here the market is turning bullish, and here this 3 big green candlesticks on the 5-minute chart was the big green one. So I want the market to return back to this area, and here we can see we retouched the market the first time, went to the upside, So here, since I had this cross, I'm looking now for a second entry or for a second pullback, which here would be this support area on the 5-minute chart where we had the first pullback, which was again previously the last support and resistance area on the 50-minute chart of the lower high, and here I want the market to come back a second time, and once it does, here I look for my entries. So my stop loss would be here at the lows of the big 50-minute candlestick, or in this case this green candlesticks at the cross. My entry would be after the close of this candlestick. So once the market pulls back here, this is my entry. So now after my entry at this candlestick close, I'm now looking for my target, and my first target would be here the previous high, which is this resistance area zone right here. So if I take a look at my risk reward here, I would have 1.7 to 1.89 risk reward, which in this case isn't too bad for me. So this would be my first and main target. If I manage to see that the market continues to move higher, then I would go for a 1 to 2 risk reward, or even higher, letting the market move to the upside, since here we can see the market continued. But my first target, or at least partially profits, I would take here at the previous high, so this resistance area right here. Since here this candlestick on the 50-minute chart was pretty big, so I might even adjust my stop loss and maybe here place it below this candlestick, and then this resistance area would be a nice 2.5 target, which would be pretty good. So initially this was the video of today, and hope you liked it. So see you next time.